Hey y'all. So before I went home today, I thought I'd do a quick video just to help maybe clear up anything that might have been confusing from class. I just want to, start real quick to say that on page 6 we talked about measures of center. And measures of center is not on your test tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure we understood it for you doing your homework. The biggest thing to remember is that a measure of center for statistics summarizes your data, just like when you get your average on your report card. That average is a summary of how you did the entire 9 weeks. So when you're talking about finding the mean, the median, and the mode, those just help summarize, tell us what our data is mostly about. We have 3 measures of center. We have the 3 M's, the mean, the median, and the mode. The mean is the average, just like on your report card, where we add them all up and we divide by how many observations we have. And remember, an observation is just how many numbers are in the data set. When we divide that and we divide it into however many we had, it evens out all of those groups. That's what an average does. A median is a little bit different because it is literally the number that is just in the middle. And the biggest thing we have to remember is for all of our data, we want to line it up from least to greatest, because that's the only way we can determine which number lies in the middle, is if they're in order. Finally, we have the mode, which is the most frequent item in our data set. It's not the greatest, okay? It's the most popular. It's which one has more frequencies than the rest of them. So on your homework tonight, you had 5 questions where you had to find the mean, median, and mode. And yes, it says you can use a calculator, but you still must show your work. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that, okay? First of all, on every single one of these, the first thing we should do is write our data in order on every single one. Let me get something to put underneath here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see how many numbers I have, how many observations I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 observations. So when I rewrite this, I want to make sure that I wrote down 11 numbers. So it looks like my smallest number is 5. Then we have 14, 19. I've got 23, 26, 34, 37, 81, 87, 87, and 100. All right, let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's what you need to do. Write your data out in order, then recount and make sure that you got them all, because if you leave one out, then you're going to be using the wrong data. So I told them in class the mode is always the easiest to identify because it's the one that you see more of. We have 2 87s, and it looks like the rest we all have one of. So 87 would be our mode. The median is the number that is in the middle, and since I have an odd data set, I should have one number in the middle. So it's easier if you take a pair off the front and the back. I can't really see that highlighter. If we take one off the front and the back and work our way to the middle. Is that better? We're just taking a pair off each end until we work ourselves to the middle, and we can see that our median is 34. Now, we learned today in class that if we have 2 in the middle, we have to average those together. So if you have an even data set, you won't actually have a middle number, and you'll have to find the middle between from the 2 numbers on the inside. So then last we're going to find the mean, and the mean is the average. This is where we're going to add up all of our numbers and divide by how many observations we have. Now, as you notice, I said a calculator is loud, but you still must show your work. So see, I've written my numbers in order. I've shown how I've gotten the median. I showed how I figured out the mode. So now to figure out the median, and what I told the kids in class is we have a calculator, but if I try to put in 11 numbers, 20 numbers, 30 numbers in the calculator at one time, there's a very good chance I'm going to make a mistake. So we want to add them up in groups. So I'm going to add the first three. So I've got 4 and 5 make 19, 14 and 5 make 19, plus 19. So these three right here give me 38. Y'all see that? Alright, so then I've got 23, 26, and 34. 23 plus 26 plus 34 is 83. Oh, look at that. They're opposites. Then I got 37 plus 81 plus 87 plus 87 plus 100. We'll just go ahead and do the last four. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to add that one more time, make sure I did it right. 37 plus 81 plus 87 plus 87 plus 100. 392. Now I can add those three numbers together. 38 plus 83 plus 392. 513 is my sum when I add all of those numbers together. Now I will divide by how many observations there are. I'm going to double check my work just to make sure I hadn't done anything wrong, which is good for my kids to do too. Alright, so now we're going to divide that by 11, and I get 46.6363. We have a repeating decimal, so we're just going to round to 46.64. Now, notice I have made my work where I know where each one is. I've labeled it. My work is neat. I've shown how I got 513, and this is what I mean that by you can use a calculator, but I still want to see your work. I don't want to see just answers down. The last thing I want to say is when you are finding the mean, and let's say I forgot to divide and my answer was 513, there's no way 513 could be my average when my numbers only range from a 5 to 100. I couldn't have an average of 513. So be aware when you're looking for your median and your mean. It has to come in between your data. It can't be a number that's, way above 100 or way less than 5. That would send us a signal that something's not right and not reasonable, and we need to look at something we've done. So when you get your mean, it needs to be somewhere in between. Now, if you notice, our median and our mean are, decently apart. That might tell us that our data might be skewed a little bit if we graphed it. If they're super close together, then we know that that's going to be pretty normal, evenly spread data. But when you see a big gap between them, then you could have some skewed data. And if we're going from 5 to 100, that's pretty spread out. So anyway, this is just a little tutorial to help you with your homework if you need it. Don't forget the bottom is review for your test. You have a test on statistical questions, histograms and dot plots where you have to look at a graph and pick the data, and shapes of data, if it's skewed or symmetrical or skewed left or skewed right. So make sure to study. If you need anything, let me know. You have a great day.